In Texas, we have a beautiful 31-year-old young lady who's pregnant, but her baby has some sort of a genetic defect, which means her baby, if born, will not live. She will be born. She will gasp for air. She'll suffer and then die. So therefore, because Texas has draconian abortion laws that tells a woman what she can do with her body, that tells a woman that Ken Paxton, controls your womb. I can tell you what you must do with your body, because that's who we are in Texas. This woman had to take the state of Texas to court. And in taking Texas to court, judge in Travis County said, "Oh my God, I feel your pain. You could actually lose your fallopian tubes, your uterus, and not be able to bear another child. And therefore, I strike down. I consider this an exception to the Texas state law. You can go ahead and have an abortion." The criminal attorney general of Texas comes out and warns doctors. Remember, the stay order is not as long as our law. So therefore, as soon as we change, as soon as that stay order goes out, that restraint, I think the stay or whatever it's called is over, we're coming back to charge the doctors or the hospitals. And then he goes to the Texas Supreme Court. And the Texas Supreme Court says, we're going to put this on pause. And now, last night, he was fighting it in court. I don't think there's a result on that yet. But Kate has gone out of state to have an abortion, because while she would like to fight the battle in Texas, from what I understand that she left the state today to go get an abortion. But the fact that a woman's body is under control of this aged criminal is sad. Let's go ahead and play the piece from this morning. Excellent piece by Brzezinski. A passionate piece by Brzezinski this morning. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
The Texas Supreme Court is blocking an abortion for a woman whose fetus has a fatal diagnosis. Kate Cox, who is 20 weeks pregnant, was warned by her doctor and multiple doctors that if she carries this pregnancy to term, it will likely jeopardize her health and future fertility. Despite this, the Texas Attorney General asked the state Supreme Court to step in, arguing Cox does not meet the criteria for a medical exception. And believe it or not, it is 2023, not 1923. This is an unsettling and all too common story. Once again, an aging white man faces indictments, is accused of covering up an affair, faced impeachment, and still his wrecking ball use of political power continues with brutal consequences on the lives of women. Sounds familiar. I'm actually not talking about Donald Trump. This time, it's another far-right Republican who considers it a compliment to be called Trumpy. I'm talking, of course, about Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Paxton is so desperate to mimic Trump, so desperate for Trump's support that he led a lawsuit in 2020 to challenge the results of that year's election in Trump's favor. The Supreme Court, of course, quickly threw that out. That's how desperate he is. The man is so desperate to mimic Trump that he behaves in a cruel, brutal fashion and won't back down until a ill woman is physically and emotionally destroyed. That woman, Kate Cox, and her health is in danger because of Ken Paxton, who is using laws against abortion, thank you, Donald Trump, Leonard Leo, and many others, to make sure her suffering is the most it can be. We gotta wake up. We need to wake the hell up. This country has lost so much already. Women have lost so much. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, a man or a woman, please look at the face of this moment in time. Kate Cox could be your daughter, your sister, your wife, you. Kate Cox is 31 and needs an abortion. Her physical and emotional well-being is in peril. Her developing fetus has trisomy 18, a rare chromosomal disorder that's likely to cause stillbirth. That's where she gives birth to a dead baby. Or her baby will barely survive the birth and then will die shortly after. She will watch her newborn, Kate will, suffer, gasp for air, and then die. There are also other risks. That's the reason she needs an abortion, of bringing this pregnancy to term, including making it impossible for Kate to ever have a baby again, to sterilize her. Kate needs that abortion now to protect her own health, too. She's been to the ER 4 times for severe cramps, leaking fluid, and elevated vital signs, according to her lawyer. And then, of course, there is the mental anguish.
We're going through the loss of a child. There's no outcome here that I take home my healthy baby girl, so it's hard,
So why isn't this woman in the OR right now getting the life-saving health care she needs? Because the Texas Attorney General, not a doctor, not a scientist, an aging white far-right Republican male, believes he knows what should happen with Kate's body. He would prefer that she carry her non-viable fetus to term. Consequences be damned. That's Ken's choice. Ken has choices. Kate does not. Ken is choosing to block Kate's health care once again by threatening legal action against any doctor who performs Kate's life-saving abortion. Legal action against the hospital where the procedure happens. He wants to do that as well. So for Kate, a desperate mother in need of health care, the reason her body may lose its ability to have more children, the reason her young children have a sick, suffering mother, the reason her very life may be absolutely shattered and in danger is because Ken Paxton is driving home the reality that we all must face. That because Trump and his cronies were able to destroy Roe, something he loves to brag about, we have no rights to protect ourselves in a situation like this.
I think forcing me to continue the pregnancy, the pain and suffering, put me through the risks of continuing the pregnancy, the risks of childbirth again, especially given how my last 2 went. I think it's cruel.
We have no right to save ourselves from suffering. Our daughters are growing up in a world where they will be scared to get pregnant. They will fear that people like Ken Paxton will have more of a say in their healthcare decisions than their doctors. They will fear that they will suffer or even die when attempting to bring a life into this world. This isn't a fear we have about something that might happen. Let's all freak out about what might happen. No, this is where we are right now. And this Monday morning, I pray for Kate Cox and the many other women who will inevitably be in the same situation. I'm also praying that we all step up. You may be a Republican. You may have voted for Trump thinking this all isn't so bad. It's worse. Wake up and consider voting with Kate in mind in the next presidential election. The choices may not be perfect. They may be far from perfect. I get that. What we're trying to save, though, is the ability to have choices and options in this country and to make those choices in a country that is a democracy.
No man has the right to tell a woman what to do with her body. If you want to do that, try carrying a kid yourself. Okay? This is something that belongs in a woman's domain. Punto y final. In a woman's domain. I will not presume to impose that on women. And what these troglodytes are doing to this 31-year-old woman, putting her life in danger, putting her fallopian tubes and her uterus in danger is It is unforgivable. And what I hope is somebody tries to control their testicles and their prostates, just like they want to control a woman's ovaries and uterus. I sure hope that, well, anyway, you get what I'm saying. Paxton took it to the Supreme Court and he got a stay, a pause. and he was debating it in the Supreme Court yesterday. I don't think the Supreme Court made a decision, but Kate is in dire straits right now. So she left the state to go have the abortion outside. I don't know if the Supreme Court is going to continue with the case or not. I hope so. I hope they come to a resolution. But the idea is this, like I spoke about this on my show earlier this morning on KPFT. Kate has mobility. Kate can leave the state and have an abortion. For the millions of poor women in Appalachia, for the millions of poor women in the ghettos and the barrios and all these different areas of our society who do not have mobility, they are stuck with whatever sentence they have imposed on them by the state of Texas. That's the evil within. Why you can have the elitists who, if Paxton's daughter gets pregnant, he can ship her off to Mexico or he'll probably ship her off to some other country in secret, because we know that these right-wingers, they do have their abortions. They just don't tell anybody about it. Remember the chairman of the Republican Party in Florida, who is anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ, anti all of this stuff. Turns out his wife and himself are bisexual because they bring a third party in to have sex with them, yet they think that they can control other people, what other people can read and what their morality is supposed to be. Look, I'm not judging their threesome at all. I hope they have fun with their threesome. But then who the hell are them to tell the other people what books they can read? Who are they to be able to tell others how to live their life or whether to accept LGBTQ or not? The hypocrisy, if it were just a hypocrisy from within, it would be, who the hell cares? But when their hypocrisy start to have a material effect on the lives of others, that is a problem. That is, in fact, a problem. So, folks, it's good enough. It's great that our sister Kate has mobility, that she could go to another state and have an abortion. Sadly, the mobility of many will prevent that from happening.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.